We come to you north of the border from Toronto, Ontario. I'm Ed Cohen with Jay Williams. And Jay, the Raptors are Canada's team. Only fitting. Toronto's the fourth largest city in North America.
Ed, all that sounds great, but I'll tell you what, I love everything about T-Dot. The food, the music, the culture, the people, the energy of the city. It's off the charts. Every NBA player wants to come through the six.
No one really cares if it's cold because inside these walls, it's always revved up. The Raptors control the tap. Lowry. To Jeremy Lin. No good.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Paul George. Jay, upon scanning this Clippers roster, there are a lot of guards for Doc Rivers to work with.
Yeah, they have a plethora of guards, and if I'm this team and if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm thinking about how do I throw as many guards at you as possible, because Doc wants to get another guard in there to apply the same pressure. They should be the new modern-day Detroit Pistons with the style they play defensively.
Lowry to Lin. Shot from the lane won't go. Leonard to Paul George. Has a look. And he buries it. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively and he makes those clutch shots, it re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Lin against George. From long range. Jeremy Lin forcing that one there. Well defended. Leonard to Beverly. To Leonard. Shot clock, it's coming down to 4. Now down to 3. Leonard creates the space to bury the 3 on the step back.
And in today's game, you have to make shots like that. Nice work draining it from deep.
Ball controlled by Kyle Lowry. Pascal Siakam, the pass taken away by the Clippers. And he's fouled. Earns a trip to the foul line, Jay.
You see this all the time. The defensive players establishing his presence on the court and also checking to see how far the refs are going to let him go.
First try at the line, no. Oh, he missed on a pair. Lowry with it. They trail by 7. To Gasol. Marc Gasol missed his first. That one goes.
Old school equals high percentage.
Leonard. Now a steal as the Raptors have it. Runner's good there.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Short jumper misses. Lowry into the front court. They're down 3. Layup goes down. Well done.
I'm telling you right now, with moves like that, scoring is not going to be an issue tonight.
George. Couldn't keep it in. Out off Paul George. We have both squads set to make some moves right now. Across the timeline, it's Lowry. They trail by 1.
Trust me, you want to avoid early foul trouble. Take that one as a warning.
First try, no good. And he's able to hit the second after missing that first one. Leonard to Beverly. Pascal Siakam snatching it out of the air.
Don't stare him down like that afterwards.
Almost unlucky bounce. Beverly into the front court. He'll run the offense. To Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. He's 2 for 5. Not great, but trending.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Kyle Lowry with the rock. Paul George sends it away.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
Shot from in close, no good.
One of the best kept secrets in the game. Utilizing a head fake. Get the defender in a bit lazy.
Turns and slams it down.
An easy 2. Get back on defense.
Paul George. Scores from the post.
You feel that? I see the confidence building.
Lowry into the front court. Down 2. Trying to cash in. Gets a look. Can't hit. George to Leonard. Gets it in the right corner. Beyond the arc for 3. This guy's tough. Patrick Beverly, hand in his face, still drills it.
Every hero needs a good sidekick. Nice find to set up a 3.
Lowry. Knocked loose. That's off of Leonard, out of bounds. It'll stay Raptors basketball. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Fred VanVleet to McCaw. Lets it fly from long range. That's off the side of the rim, short. Kawhi Leonard. He's 3 for 7.
This has been a good first quarter for him so far. That wasn't an easy shot, but he was able to knock it down and add to their lead.
Here comes the screen. Fred VanVleet to McCaw.
Hey, watch this screen left.
The Raptors down to 3 on the shot clock. From the outside, no good.
I just love where this takes you into the psychological battle as a player offensively. Was that a great contest, or did you just miss the shot? But now you have me thinking about that the entire next possession.
Paul George, 4-2 off the mark. He's made those before, but that was well defended. First quarter in the books. The Clippers are out in front. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. Working and a putback slam.
Woo, that's nasty right there.
Ball's controlled by the Raptors. Fred VanVleet to Jeremy Lin. Clippers have it.
That's called game plan execution to perfection. Every possession on the road is critical.
To George. Great defense there, forcing the pickup. George on the drive, but his shot misses. Fred VanVleet to Lynn. Fred VanVleet. It was right there.
And this happens all the time in this league. Sometimes offensively, you're tired. It's one of those type of nights. You combine that with the fact that the defense is hungry and active and contesting everything, that's why shots aren't dropping.
Five on the shot clock. Beverly. Smothering D. Lynn with it. His team down 9. Count the bucket for 2.
Might have had an extra dribble or two there, but he got the shot he wanted.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Paul George at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. The free throw good. Cashes in on the three-point play. The lead now stands at 10. Lynn with it. Looking to make something happen. And the Clippers have the rebound. Leonard to Paul George. Gets it in the left corner. Beverly. Short jumper off the mark.
And this is where you know you have the offense right where you want them. Every possession, all you see them doing is complaining to the ref, complaining to each other. You're making the game uncomfortable. That's the mark of a good defense.
Couldn't keep it in. Out off Danilo Gallinari. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor.
Number 40,
Fred VanVleet. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. George. Oh, that's how it's done.
For average shooters, that's not a great shot. But for a great shooter, that's a good look.
Fred VanVleet
Here we go.
to McCaw. Five to shoot for Toronto. Here's a chance from long range. Fred VanVleet locked in on that one.
Even though the coach initially may not like that shot, now he's clapping because that ball went in.
It's the Clippers with the possession now. Paul George. He's now shooting 5 for 7.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it, this year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Kawhi Leonard with a piece.
And that's light work for a guy with his ability.
From the painted area, won't go down. Fred VanVleet. Deep left corner. Gasol. Well defended. Shot no good. If it was anyone else, they'd be back on the bench for George. That's good D. Shot no good. Fred VanVleet. Pascal Siakam to McCaw. Here comes the screen. McCaw against George. Strong finish at the rim for Marc Gasol.
I mean, with so much talk these days about three-point shooting and the spacing on the court and having versatile athletic wings, sometimes when you have a dominant big man, you keep giving him the ball. You let him be that anomaly.
Can't get the bounce. Fred VanVleet to Gasol. The Raptors down to 3 on the shot clock. Marc Gasol, 3 for 6 now.
I'm laughing because when you look at Marc Gasol, he's not the fastest big guy in the game. He's not the smoothest, nor is he the best shooter. But you know what he is? He's prepared and he's experienced. That's why he can get you 17 to 18 to 19 points per night or more, and you get a tough low post presence.
Both teams tweaking their lineups. Here come some changes.
Number 9, Serge Ibaka. Stepping in for the Los Angeles Clippers, number 4,
Paul George. Toronto with the basketball. Pascal Siakam, strong finish. Jay, I'm surprised he had a chance to wrap him up.
Well, you're not the only one surprised. This guy is not a good free throw shooter. You never let him have an easy bucket. If anything, make him earn it at the charity stripe.
Beverly to George. Screen coming.
1 minute left in the second quarter.
5 seconds to shoot. Shot clock violation. Shot won't go. Has a chance. It's no good. Defender did just enough to force the tough shot. Beverly into the front court. Up by 6. To Paul George. Marc Gasol. Leonard. To Beverly. George.
Screen.
Kawhi Leonard. Not that time. Has a look. And he scores on the step back. Desperation shot here from half court. That's it for the first half. The Clippers have the lead.
Thanks, Ed. The Clippers entered the locker room with a comfortable lead. Clearly, the number of three-pointers these guys scored in the first half was incredible. And if they can keep that up, it's going to be tough to keep that team down. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Los Angeles Clippers. The Raptors were unable to find an offensive floor in the opening half. And someone needs to step up offensively if they plan to win this game. Not a single
Game track. Missed threes.
The Toronto Raptors haven't had much luck with their three-point shooting today, unlike the opposition. I've got a feeling that if they continue to shoot from long range in the second half, they won't be happy with the result. Most of their misses came in the opening quarter.
Player of the half.
Paul George is up in the air swatting shots. When he's not doing that, he's down on the floor making steals. Who wouldn't be impressed by a first half like that?
Who was cold?
Forget cold. This guy will be happy to be lukewarm at this point. He can't seem to get anything going. Here's our top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
And with that, I'm sending it back to Ed and Jay to bring you the rest of the game. We're gonna do this.
Paul George to Beverly. Pascal Siakam rejects it.
Don't stare.
LA Clippers with the basketball to George. That pass taken away by Toronto. Leonard. To Paul George. Trying to cash in. Shot by George, misses.
And Ed, that's what you see this defense doing. They're capitalizing on the momentum gained from getting a multitude of stops defensively.
Nothing going here on that drive. Montrezl Harrell tips it. Here comes the screen. Trying to shoot for Toronto. Lowry, he drills the 3.
Today's league just throws that old school stuff out of the window. Why have 2s when you can shoot 3s? Even on fast breaks, guys spread out towards the 3-point line instead of laying the ball easy at the rim.
To Leonard. Here comes the screen. Leonard. No good. Shot clock winding down.
Today's NBA defenders are longer, quicker, and more athletic than we've ever seen before. So offensively as a shooter, you either have to be able to create more space off the dribble for your shot or have a much faster release. Ideally, you have both in your arsenal.
It's good and one.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
Kawhi Leonard trying to cash in on the 3-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. The free throw good. Caps off the 3-point play. The lead is 4. It's the Raptors with the basketball.
That's me. I got ball.
Well done, Kyle Lowry. 4 out of 7.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
George. To Leonard. Here comes the screen. Here's Leonard for 2. The screen sets him up for 2.
Bread and butter. And there are few that can do it better off the screen.
Lowry with it. His guys trail now by 4. Lynn, tough matchup against George. Gasol to Lowry. Montrezl Harrell. Ball's controlled by the Raptors. And he's going to the line to shoot.
I've seen it happen so many times. Small things like that foul can end up becoming a momentum changer. Let's see how this one plays out.
First one goes down. fails to hit them both. Hits the first, misses the second. Beverly to George. To Leonard. Shot clock coming down to 4. Down to 3. Leonard. Yes. Give the advantage to the shooter.
And the three-point shot of the offense applies so much pressure on the defense, you can no longer build your teams inside out. The new way, you build your team outside in.
Serge Ibaka. Better late than never. That was his first shot, and it goes down.
You see, this is why players get out here hours before the game and they get a really good lather.
Finishing inside the paint on that one.
He's been doing this for years.
To Powell. Here comes the screen. Powell against George.
Hey, you got the screen right.
5 to shoot. Fires the 3. Van Vliet denied. Have to like the defense.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
Pascal Siakam. Huge block.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
Clippers have got it. Count the basket.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Fred Van Vliet. Not that time. It's LA Clippers ball. Beverly to Leonard. Probing the defense. Nothing going here on that drive. LA with 4 to shoot. Leonard. That's how you defend.
Shooters shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with.
Able to convert inside. Timeout called here by the Clippers as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter.
You considered a luxury box for your next group event. Availability is limited, so you must act now. Visit our team website for more details.
Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. Leonard to Paul George.
For the Toronto Raptors, number 33, Marc Gasol.
Leonard. Short jumper won't go down.
And you have to remember that your hand is part of the ball. There wasn't enough contact on that play for the refs to blow the whistle.
Powell against Paul George. To McCoy. Side is giving up an inch.
I guarantee you tomorrow on Complex's social feed, that play will have millions of views. And I'm really looking forward to this fourth quarter because the first 3 have lived up to the billing.
Short jumper misses. Basket's good on the follow. Way to stay with it.
Contact on a drive can be a beautiful thing. Making those tough shots can really help you build a mental advantage over your defender.
Just inside the arc. At the buzzer, Marc Gasol. With that, he's 5 for 9. Third quarter comes to an end. The Clippers are out in front. Raptors ball as we get going here in the fourth. They trail to this point, but you'd have to say this one's up for grabs.
And the new style we play with in this league, all it takes is 3 quick threes, and you're right back in the ball game.
A drive baseline, but the shot won't go.
And one of the most underrated things in this game is quick lateral speed. Good job by utilizing that speed and taking away the lane.
Leonard to Beverly. Patrick Beverly. Quiet night, but 2 for 3 in the contest right now.
You've heard it before. Slow and steady wins the race. This approach might be working out after all.
Lowry to Powell. Lynn. And the Clippers able to clear the board. Beverly into the front court. Leads 4. Strong finish for Paul George. Going the other way. Ball's controlled by Lowry. To Powell. Clippers have it.
Don't play scared now. Let's push the ball. Let's get this lead up.
And finishes strong.
You used to hear all these coaches talk about, we need players to run the floor. No, I don't need you to run the floor. I need you to run the floor with purpose. Those are 2 different things. When you run the floor in attack mode, that's when plays like this occur.
Screen coming. Lowry to Powell. Serge Ibaka, very efficient and making an impact. He's 3 for 3.
The assist from number 24, Norman Powell.
Leonard. To George. Teams are making substitutions.
Number 1, Patrick McCall. Into the game for LA, number 4.
Whistled for the foul. Chance coming up at the free throw line.
The game is too tight for you to be taking risks like that. You want to avoid foul trouble at all costs.
First free throw is good. And gets both to drop at the line. Beverly into the front court. They lead it. 4-point game. The rebound's corralled by the Raptors. Lowry into the front court. He'll run the offense. To McCaw. Short jumper off the mark.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
A drive down the lane, but the shot won't go. Lays it up and in. Deficit is 6. Powell to Lowry. To Gasol. Down low. And look out.
It's that easy, Ed. You never want to leave any doubt when attacking the rim.
To Paul George. Gasol pins it.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Cleans it up. Finish that. Lowry into the front court. Down 4. Paul George with the block.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
Lowry has the basketball. Paul George. Perfect feed to set up the basket. Now a whistle, and Toronto's going to use a timeout. That's their first. Leaves them with one remaining the rest of the way.
And this is where habits come into play. Players think they can turn that switch on and off at their beckoning call, but it doesn't work that way. That's why coaches talk about practicing good habits on a daily basis, because they show up in the fourth.
Some lineup changes now for both clubs. Lowry. Well done, Kyle Lowry. He's 5 for 10, shooting 50%.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
George against McCall. Marc Gasol able to recover with the block. That's his third block this evening.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to win. Oh! Out there looking like the Kimbe Mutombo.
Took it right to him, and the defender was ready. Pascal Siakam snatching it out of the air. Changes coming from both sides right now.
For the Toronto Raptors, number 17, Jeremy Lin. Subbing in for Los Angeles, number 8, Danilo Gallinari.
See who gets the possession. Toronto with the basketball. Knocked loose. Clippers have got it.
You better get back on D. This thing is not over.
Sizing up the defense. And counted at the rim.
Man, if we were at Rucker Park right now, everybody would be wilding on the court. Guaranteed.
Lowry with it. His club staring up at an 8-point deficit. Pascal Siakam to Lowry. Shot clock's at 5. Down to 4. 4-3. Good for 3.
Well, the defense has been good, but the shot-making ability has been better. And sometimes for NBA players at this level, the more you're in their face, the more it helps them center their focus on the target, which is making the shot. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it's a real thing.
Great dish to set it up. Cashes in for 2.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
To Leonard. Here comes the screen. George to Beverly. Oh, too much contact. Free throws on the way.
No, no, no. I'll tell you, the team that makes the little mistakes.
For LA, number 40, Ivica Zubac.
Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Now the Raptors going to use a timeout. It's their second and final one of the last 3 minutes. They cannot stop the clock again.
The wet donation boxes located around the concourse. We're accepting non-perishable food items for the homeless in our community. Our thanks go to those who have already participated in this community event.
They've slowed down the pace. Now 3 on the shot clock. Lowry going to launch beyond the arc. Can't connect. And now an intentional foul, so they'll send him to the line. 2 free throws here means it's a 3-possession game.
Okay, now look over to the sideline and see what the staff is trying to draw up on the next play. That's good clock management thus far.
First one, count it.
Oh, good shot, boy.
So he hits the first, misses the second. The drive, right to the basket. Down the lane, but the shot won't fall. It's the Clippers who come away with the victory as they get a good win on the road. That'll wrap things up. For Jay Williams and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Jalen Rose here, and I've got your EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Clippers almost let this one. They committed to the grind and got rewarded as a result. The Raptors are probably frustrated with themselves after such a narrow loss.
Sure, it's great they shot so well from 3, but none of that really matters when your team has one more loss to show for it.
What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Toronto Raptors.
Game track. 3-point shooting.
Each of these teams were solid with their long-range shooting. So by extension, they were pretty poor with their perimeter defense. Closing out on shooters must always happen, whether you're tired or not.
Player of the game.
Kawhi Leonard wasn't satisfied with just getting steals. He had to insist on getting a bunch of blocks as well. Now that's what I call defense. These are the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose. We look forward to seeing you again next time.